Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, CEO of Dealer Synergy and the creator of AutomotiveInternetSales.com, and I got a special guest that is on the line. Say hello to Christian Jorn. Say hello, sir.
What's up, folks?
All right, so first and foremost, Christian, there you are, smiling, looking, like Tom Cruise, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, oh yeah. All right, so here's the thing. You're on the line because I'm really proud to announce that you are the July Vendor of the Month, okay, for AutomotiveInternetSales.com. So how this works is that AutomotiveInternetSales.com is a completely neutral authority for everything and anything related to automotive internet sales. And our goal is to bring the thousands and thousands of members and the over 10,000 of viewers a month the most cutting-edge, up-to-date information technology, and hence that's why I'm talking to you, Christian. So you are the president of Remora. Is that correct?
You got it.
Okay, so let's talk about you. Tell us about who you are, your experience in the industry, and how you got to, becoming the president of Remora.
Sure. Well, I've been doing professional SEO in automotive for the last 7 years. We've had incredible success with our dealers because we take a hand-built approach. It is an exclusive arrangement where we turn down your competitors after we steamroll them, and all of our dealership clients have been clients for life. So it works every time, works great, and winning in search and becoming the most visible dealership in your market is incredibly valuable. Having your inventory be highly visible and found, it just makes all the difference in the world. It's a dramatic change. It's not a slow or a slight change. It's the change from a typical showroom to an exciting showroom. So in a nutshell, we bring excitement to your showroom. It's a great change, and you make a lot more money.
Now, do you have automotive background?
Yeah, I came from the car business. I was an internet sales manager at a Ford dealership that was kind of rural, and so we had to reach out into a bigger market, and I had all the reins of the advertising budget and could do whatever I want, and quickly found out that if you needed to get good credit people to come out, that the way to do that was to win in search. And that dealership went from around 70, 80 cars a month to now they're well over 200 every month.
Damn. Okay, that's awesome. See, I love this. So sometimes in this industry, there's a lot of technology people or developers or software developer people, and that's great. But what I think is lost sometimes are people that are technology people or corporate people. They've never worked in a dealership, and they've never worked in an internet sales department. So I love the fact that not only are you the president of an amazing car dealership website company, automotive advertising, and SEO company, but you're also a former car guy and specifically a former automotive internet sales manager. Is that correct?
You got it. And I really do look fondly back at my days in the car business. It was a great time in my life and a great experience for me. And now that I work with lots of car dealers, I've really found that, by and large, these are really great organizations that care about their community, are usually very active in the community, and provide great jobs for people. And really is where I became successful, was in the car business. And so I really appreciate the industry and really enjoy working with the fine folks in it.
Okay, now let's get into this because, automotive websites, SEO, digital marketing, to some people it's like voodoo or witchcraft. So let's just start knocking down, each one of these things. Let's start with, dealership websites. How do you feel about some of these bigger companies, that are $100 million, $200 million that have these OEM contracts, but they have sub-sufficient technology? They're cookie-cutter templated sites. It's got to drive you crazy being a very thorough, web developer for car dealership websites to see these people that are just peddling crap. So what's your thoughts on that? No names, just like.
Yeah. Well, largely the problem for them is that they are impossibly tied to the software that they have. With so many dealerships hung on the same platform, it really restricts what they're able to do, and typically anything custom is completely out of bounds and not anything that they can handle at all. And of course, we're in the modern world. We're in an age where Google makes changes all the time, and when Google makes a change, even if the big guys were even aware that there was a change, they wouldn't even be able to do anything about it because they're impossibly tied to their systems. Some of these systems were built in the late 90s and really haven't changed other than display layers laid on top of really what is archaic software. So we pretty well pull and rewrite our software from scratch, up to 2 or 3 times a year, just to stay current and stay fresh. And we've got the experts that do that. Because we've written everything from scratch, we can get to every corner of it, and so nothing is out of bounds, and that's a real benefit to dealers, especially ones that like to be on the cutting edge and like to experiment and try new things.
I love it. Now for SEO, I've seen some of your work, and I think that you do an amazing job. And you said that SEO is constantly changing, the search engines are changing. What advice do you have to dealers? Let's start with, how important is it for a dealership to drive their own traffic versus, be dependent on manufacturers or third parties? So let's start there. How important is it for SEO? And then after you answer that question, give us some tips about SEO.
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception that dealers have about web traffic is how much of it comes from paid search. I see dealers spending $25,000 a month on Google AdWords and display campaigns, and if you ask them, they think, oh well, probably a third of my traffic comes from that, and in reality, it's somewhere between 5 and 10%. The lion's share of traffic comes through the organic search results and not the paid ads. Overall, in just the entire web industry, not specific to automotive, the actual number is 6%. So out of all of the web traffic that goes through Google search, only 6% goes through the paid ads. And so what we've got is a situation where dealers are artificially driving up the value of that paid inventory because they're fighting so hard over it. And since it is an auction, it drives up the cost. But they're fighting over 6% of the traffic and have little or no strategy for organic search. It really creates an opportunity for us, and even more so for our clients, because typically when we come into a new market, the competition is so weak that we can easily take over the whole market quickly. Organic search is not something that should be taken lightly. You have to have a strategy for it, and really it makes all the difference in the world when your inventory is highly findable in search.
I think that's awesome. Now let's talk about pay-per-click though for a second, in search engine marketing. So I get it that only 6% of a dealership's traffic would come from paid, but let's say you are going to do paid. What is your advice on there's people that are scared of doing pay-per-click or SCM. Yeah. So what advice do you?
Well, and for some dealers, pay-per-click is actually not appropriate. If you don't have secondary lenders that buy deep and you don't do in-house financing, you really don't need to do pay-per-click. Your focus should be on organic. The fact that just the demographic fact is that 6%, the people who do click on the paid ads are typically of your lower income and your secondary buyers. And not to say that that's not valuable, but if your dealership is really geared towards primary business, you want to take a second look at and thought before you dive in and spend a lot of money in pay-per-click. Now, if you do have secondary lenders and you do like to sell into the secondary market, you can absolutely make a ton of money by driving traffic via pay-per-click.
I love it. So now, what closing advice or tips would you like to give the dealers that are watching this?
I would say to take a really honest look at your web provider and what they're doing for you and what they're actually doing for you for organic search. Blog posts and content creation, that's really not the ticket. You've got to have a website that converts. You've got to have a website that causes people to come back to your site. They need to dwell on the site. It needs to load quickly. You've got to have a great mobile strategy. You should keep tablet users in mind because that's a big and growing portion of the business that's out there. So there's a lot of things that you want to consider, but you really need to have everything work because any kink in the chain can cause the whole thing to derail. You can have a great website that converts, but you don't have any traffic coming to it, and that doesn't work. You can have lots of traffic coming to your website, but your website isn't converting that traffic into business, and that doesn't work. So you really need to take a close look at everything that you're doing and make sure that you're winning in search organically. That is so important and just makes all the difference for dealers.
Awesome. Well, listen, before we close, I want to just highlight one of your stores. The reason why you were put on my radar is that the president of the Massachusetts State Auto Dealer Association happens to be one of my clients, Mr. Scott Doobie. He's also the dealer principal of Bill Doobie Hyundai. Can you talk us through, this is one of your Remora sites. Can you talk us through this site that you built because it's being extremely effective, productive, and explain the site to us.
Sure. So with our sites, the focus is always on inventory and getting the user directly to your inventory. There's been a widely publicized study in the industry that you lose 27% of your visitors per click that they have to click through to get to your inventory. So the search interface on your website is incredibly important. One of the things that we do is we do provide the contextual search, which has become more and more common. That's in the top right corner, the search our inventory. Mm-hmm. And that's with the Amazon age, and people are the way that people shop and the way that people search is contextual. So it's really important that you have that and that it functions properly, because a lot of times dealerships that have it, if you actually type some stuff in there, you see you get a lot of errors. Also, we break out all of the new models, and so you can link right to the list pages and click right through to the list pages. And in the pre-owned inventory as well, we break it out by make. So you've got vehicles under 12K, write down, and then and there you go. Click through to the list pages, and then on if you do click through to a details page, you're going to see that we include a similar inventory functionality, so that when they're looking at the cars, that they can also click right over to similar cars. And that's actually a surprisingly effective way for people to navigate through the site, and has a benefit in search as well, because it causes more page views and more just more activity on the site. So yeah, certainly our sites specifically have an incredible strategic advantage right off the bat, but we do take a holistic approach, and we do build high-quality links to the site, and that really is the muscle that makes them rank. So,
well, listen,
yeah, it worked.
I want to just congratulate you on the success of your company, and I think that Remora is definitely on the rise. So, thank you so much for being courteous and giving us some airtime and to kind of go over. But I got to tell you, I think it's important for the automotive industry to really do some research before they settle for mediocrity with most of the websites that are out there. So again, Christian, thank you so much, and congratulations for being the vendor of the month.
Great. Thanks, Sean.